The Bentonite Hills, Mars on Earth. These hills were born from ancient volcanic ash, transformed over millions of years into bentonite clay. Time and weather have sculpted the clay into sweeping layers that ripple across the hillsides. Rusty reds blend into dusky purples, pale pinks melt into orange, and streaks of gray cut sharply through it all. Driving just outside Hanksville, Utah, the road to Mars begins quietly, with an unassuming left turn off Highway 24 onto Cow Dung Road. At first, the land around Hanksville looks familiar. Sun-baked sandstone cliffs, pockets of rabbit brush, and the open sprawl of Utah desert beneath a sky so wide it feels endless. But then, as we dip into a shallow wash and maneuver past a few jagged rocks, the familiar begins to vanish. The rabbit brush disappears. Shrubs and grasses retreat. In their absence, the landscape grows empty, hushed, and strangely alien. It's as though we've slipped across an invisible border, leaving Earth behind for someplace otherworldly. Ahead, the Bentonite Hills begin to shimmer on the horizon, pulling us forward. But first, something unexpected rises from the desert floor. The Mars Desert Research Station. White cylinders gleam under the sun, joined by solar panels and scattered outbuildings, linked by dusty paths. Against the backdrop of red hills, the station looks less like a scientific outpost and more like the set of a Martian colony. Even from a distance, the place vibrates with purpose, an invitation to imagine astronauts testing their limits in this harsh desert, rehearsing for a future among the stars. And then the true spectacle comes into view. The Bentonite Hills rise around us in waves of color, hypnotic in their strangeness. Rust-red ridges flare against violet shadows, streaked with ribbons of cream and white, as though painted by some ancient, unseen hand. The effect is surreal, a desert alive with color but stripped of life, beautiful and haunting at the same time. These hills are not just scenery, they are history written in clay. Millions of years ago, volcanoes covered this land with ash, which settled into low basins and slowly transformed into bentonite clay. Over ages, minerals within the ash reacted with air and water, leaving behind this kaleidoscope of color. Iron turned the soil fiery red and orange, while slower cooling created purples and grays. The pale streaks are the ghosts of ancient ash deposits, preserved in stone. Every band of color is a page in Earth's storybook, written in fire, water, and time. But what strikes most is what isn't here. No grass bends in the wind, no shrub clings to the slopes. The ground is bare, cracked, and alive in its own peculiar way. Bentonite swells into sticky mud when it rains, then bakes into a hard crust under the desert sun, making life nearly impossible. It is a landscape that resists survival, a place where roots are rejected as quickly as they try to take hold. As we wander deeper, the terrain grows even stranger. Rock piles litter the tops of the hills, not like random debris, but like pieces left deliberately in place. Raw material waiting for some unseen architect to return and finish the job. It feels less like erosion and more like intention, as if the desert itself is still under construction. Then the view unfolds wider, and the illusion of another world sharpens. Colored bands ripple outward in rings and waves, geometry painted in clay. From above, it might resemble a planet glimpsed through a telescope, mysterious, coded, waiting for someone to decipher its meaning. The silence here only magnifies the effect. No insects hum, no water trickles, no leaves rustle. Even the wind seems cautious, drifting softly across the slopes, stirring dust without sound. Standing among the Bentonite Hills, surrounded by color but stripped of life, you feel disoriented, as though you've slipped into a dream or stepped onto another planet. And yet, in this alien emptiness, there is an odd sense of peace. These hills are a reminder of Earth's vastness, of the slow, patient forces that shape it into forms so strange they seem extraterrestrial. Each fold, each crack, belongs to a rhythm older than humanity, a story told in silence by clay and time. Here, imagination is unavoidable. You can almost see astronauts descending from their habitat, boots pressing into soil as red and lifeless as this, with colors blazing under a distant sun. The Bentonite Hills are more than geology. They are a threshold between worlds, a reminder that sometimes the edge of Mars lies just a turn off Highway 24. If you enjoyed exploring Utah's Red Planet with us, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Join us for more journeys to the most breathtaking and otherworldly places on Earth.